told to come alone. Joe said if you vote for him, he'll abdicate his throne as the father of the crime bill, soul of Jim Crow. Proud to live and vote as a Strom Thurmond clone. If he tried to kiss your daughter with a camera rolling, he'll try more than kissing her alone. Cozy up with Jill for a photo like a portrait of the Kissingers at home. You know I hate to kill the messenger, but if he's gotta go, we can FaceTime. Slit his throat while he stares into the phone. Like if you don't know, kitten, now you know. This is where austerity has gotten us. This is all that palpable excitement for a 20-year wait on forgiveness for your student loans. But a distraction's a distraction, and it's time to see some action. So here's one last song for Joe, before I try to keep his name out of the lyrics in my phone. Try to shift the focus to our senators and everyone in Congress who is all too happy to be hidden while we're wasted to the bone. It is not food insecure, it's starvation, and it lurks in almost half the country's homes. So if you plan to lay down, hold your nose and vote for Joe, have the guts to admit that you chose to submit and that you decided lending your support to a pedophile must be a step towards hope. Then a vote for a man that spent his whole life implementing laws that dehumanized people of color is a vote against fascism. When you know damn well he's just a kinder, dumber face on the same white nationalism. So baby, throw away your scruples with the memories of your activism. Watch your weak resistance usher in a fucking cataclysm. Elect a bigot war pig and say you're gonna push him into pacifism. That's some bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. Bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. Baby, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. God, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. That's some fucking...
You know, sir, I like you much better with my glasses off.
I guess I was born with the curse of foresight, 'cause I knew Joe was only gonna represent the war side. And that said, I just came to fight. You could keep the or flight. Save the surprise and the gasp when the shadow of the fascists have cast is on your doorstep in the glow of your porch light. Save the surprise when the grid goes down and we go underground to lick wounds in the gloom of a torchlight. While up in the sky, a blimp glides by with a sign like New Year's 2022. Brought to you jointly by Pfizer and Coors Light. While the centrists observe from a comfortable courtside, right in the thick of the action behind a partition. We're in a morbid position, a plague of evictions, born a comorbid condition of the cancer of wealth. I fantasize that I cancel myself, hands on your head, throw your best laid plans in the well. There are no more answers, questions go back on the shelf. All Joe's donors, a quick show of hands. How many of you subbed to the Lockheed Martin OnlyFans? How many are loyalist patrons for the Raytheon Patreon? Occupy Iraq and send $1 million off into the great beyond. Cool yourself with the safety on. True to yourself in as much as you dutifully spew out a mucus of QAnon. You can't convince me the Capitol wasn't surrendered with every intention of digging us deeper down into the treacherous webbing of censorship, ebbing your speech and dissension, so you can't hold Biden accountable. Not in his mentions and not in the streets. Know to the end that Joe will defend the elite. Joe won't embarrass McConnell, but Joe's not embarrassed if all of your children are hungry and weak. Too hungry to speak. Too hungry to stand, they just lie at his feet. Joe is fresh out of empathy, fresh out of policy, but he'd love to know, what was your favorite ice cream flavor to eat? Back when you used to eat. I guess the road isn't rocky for people who thought we were free. They'll believe what they read, and Joe's here to lull them to sleep. Counting us down by the dozens, the culling of gullible sheep, led to the slaughter by media tyrants and government thieves. These are the leeches that stubbornly suck where there's nothing to bleed. These are the tumors that force us to crawl on our knees. This is the home of the brave. This is the land of the free. was foreclosed in '08. One was condemned in '16. This is the home of the brave. This is the land of the free. One was foreclosed in '08. One was condemned in '16. This is the home of the brave. This is the land of the free. One was foreclosed in '08. One was condemned in '16. This is the home of the brave. This is the land of the free. One was foreclosed in '08. One was condemned in '16. This is the home of the brave. This is the land of the free. One was foreclosed in '08. One was condemned in '16. This is the home of the brave. This is the land of the free. One was foreclosed in '08. One was condemned in '16. This is the home of the brave. This is the land of the free. One was foreclosed in '08. One was condemned in '16. This is the home of the brave. This is the land of the free. One was foreclosed in '08. One was condemned in '16. This is the home of the brave. This is the land of the free. My lips, brand new taxes, starving all the billionaires and neutering their Visa Maxes. Topple Congress off their axis, mobilize the homeless, give them access, call it praxis. Chop a couple limbs off the legislative branches. We'll show you the difference between air as a human right and guaranteed oxygen access. Octogenarians who barely know what day it is are culling countless citizens while sitting on a dais made of ignorance that was built on the graves of the slaves made to labor for its self-declared significance. And all to build a Congress full of millionaires who make their fortunes insider trading while they shit on all the indigent. So I got a bone to pick with our leaders, and I'll start with the ligaments. Pick right through the muscle, dig the marrow out, and serve it to the unhoused millions living in their minivans or watching their belongings get evicted from their tenement. I have a dream where we breach the walls of Congress and just let them in. And what happens next will survive in only text, cause there won't be any evidence. There will only be that heavy kind of feeling that pervades a space where there has been a reckoning and you can feel its remnants. Let any man who enters seeking power know that those who came before him suffocated on their eminence. That there once was a seal on the wall, but we quartered it and scattered all the pieces that it might prevent its semblance. And so we end the great experiment. We'll take all your billions, leave you 2 coins for the ferryman. Leave you drifting on a Dutchman floating derelict among the wretched seraphim. For holy is the hand that wiped the land clean of those who pose as gentlemen. That's my time, honey, cue the thunderclap and strike the theremin. And so we end the great experiment. Give you 2 coins for the ferry. I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry. My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they actually say? So I try to sit down with my wife and watch TV, but I just see propaganda elevating the police in the simplest of sitcom banter, and tiny little altars full of offerings to corporate masters in every well-planned wide pan shot of the name brand stocking up the pantry. Pull back one long tracking shot out to the garage to the logo on the Camry. Nice tight shot of the Camry. Close-up view of the Camry, slow pan up on the Camry, long slow zoom to the unmoving human who is up in the front with the tube pumping fumes to him straight from the back of the Camry. Ashamed he just could not provide for himself, let alone for his family. It's a blue pill mindset that spent 2020 making dance beats. I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride, and thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry. Ignorance is bliss, which explains why a lot of us are so fucking happy. Quick to take the trip for all its trappings. Never one to ask what's up, what's going on, or God forbid what's happening. A lot of us would strap into the ride and then spit right in the eye of the guy whose job it is to snap your fastenings. But maybe we're all born with that capacity. Maybe each of us comes standard with humor, compassion, malice, and audacity. Some of us are blind to the system, but some see it fine and say this is how it has to be. Some of us can stare wide-eyed at a nationwide human catastrophe and only offer platitudes and recipes. And I wish that I could tell myself that nothing's worth obsessing past my everyday necessities. I wish that I could cry fake news over anything that threatened me, tune out our abuses and consume a little levity. Wish that I could offer up my son a smoother destiny. Wish I had some better lessons for how best to answer questions for the things I've been perpetually questioning. But I'm too busy looking at our leaders, wondering what I might be missing from their messaging. Trying to find the reasoning to let 250,000 people meet an early reckoning. And even though I know the truth, it's hard to swallow something that's so literally sickening. Hope is ever dwindling, COVID ever beckoning. Winter slows your breathing, but your pulse is ever quickening. Even though I know the truth, it's hard to keep listening. I'm done with my epiphany, my innocence is blistering. I'd like to think I'd taste the earth before I'd ever kiss the ring. Hard to speak the truth and harder still to keep listening. Sometimes I think I miss being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. Thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. Both bleed us so dry.
both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
And I mean, obviously I really, distort the shit out of it, so you can't really tell what it is. Like
Hi,
I
everyone.
know, but
Welcome again with audio. Now that I've turned that on. Sorry, this is a show where people get high. Is probably not the best to have one of them do the tech, But eventually, I'll just hit all the buttons right, and we'll be good. But yep, we're here with Jett, friend of the show, who's been letting me use his music free of charge, which is super nice. So everyone go find the hat that he has. Probably find Patreon and stuff on Twitter and stuff like that. Hopefully,
no
if you got one of
Patreon, but
those.
Bandcamp's the main place. And
Gotcha.
obviously I have stuff on Spotify, but yeah, Bandcamp's been really good to me.
Perfect. So the thing I usually start asking people is, when was the first time you smoked, and how was it?
Ooh. First time I smoked was fun. It was out of a pipe that belonged to my mom that had actually been given to her on her 21st birthday that she had had for a long time. And afterwards I played, God, what game was it? Silent Hill 2. Played some Silent Hill.
Gotcha.
And made a grilled cheese. Just kicked it. Yeah.
Which one is that one? Is that the one?
That was the one where you were the guy. That was the one that had the pyramid head thing in it. Yeah. That was the first one for PS2.
Gotcha.
I loved those games. The early Silent Hill games scared the bejesus out of me.
Did you play what's the demo? The last Kojima.
Oh God, that was so incredible. Yeah, that broke my heart that didn't come out. Yeah.
You just went in the weird circle.
Yes, in the hallway. Yes, God, that was so amazing. Yep.
Yeah, such a good move.
That's
still
such
a good idea. You could keep literally doing that for the entire game, and people apparently that was going to be the beginning of the game, and then you had what do you do past that? Right?
Yeah.
But I was never horror stuff is usually not my bag. The first time I smoked was with I started with K2, right? Which was terrible. You remember Spice at the bodegas and shit like that?
Yeah, I remember that.
My sister at the time was working at Walmart and couldn't get flagged for weed, so that's what it was, right? I think it was 12, I was 16, something like that, right? And it was all right, but
I was 16.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't what I. And then finally, this goth chick decided to ask me hey, you want to go get high? And I was like, yeah. And then that was it. It was a real.
And the rest is history.
Since then, yeah. Now, luckily, Florida's got medical stuff, so today I'm smoking on Crumpets. It's a indica with 24% THC, so we'll see how awake I am at the end of this. But
I don't know if there are percentages on these. Let's see.
Right? I mean, normally most people just got the dealer's seal of approval, so
I've got a sativa by the name of Lumpy Space Princess.
Nice. That's a.
And what is
name.
the Indica is Adam's OG, which
Gotcha.
I can attest to the quality of this. I also have a little bit of perp somewhere, but
Mm,
who knows where.
yeah. So, but yeah, how about I speak directly into the microphone? That probably would help people as well. But my like microphones sometimes are super low, and I don't know why. Sometimes like it goes live low. Like audio on Windows is like the worst thing. You know, it's like you do like audio recording. Do you use PC or Mac to do that?
I actually do all my albums I do on iPhone.
Okay, you got like
Yeah,
Ableton
the
or
mic
Florida
the
Studio
mic I
or-
record. I use GarageBand actually.
Okay, gotcha.
I use me if I get it. This is a little Shure MV5
Nice.
that has a lightning adapter.
Yeah.
And so I've used my car exclusively as my little recording studio vocal booth.
Nice.
And yeah, it's worked out for me. And after I did my first record like that, kind of out of necessity,
Yeah.
I love that so much I didn't want to change it. Like I can record a sample anywhere because I have the mic and the phone. Use a lot of found sounds. If I want to mix something or clean up some vocals on my lunch break, I can, be in the Walgreens parking lot and record a line if I need to. So it's
Right.
I like being able to, especially for political music, to have a kind of guerrilla recording style felt right, So
Well, and to me,
yeah, so that's been it.
I'm surprised the shitlibs don't like you more because of your like, Hamilton-esque sound. It's like they all love that Broadway rap shit, and it's like here you go, but it's like, oh, he think backs about Biden. I don't like.
Yep.
So I personally love it. I love the ones you've done against
Thank
TYT.
you.
Those are super fun. That one when you went hard with, and I was perfectly okay with that. What have you been listening to lately? Like not like,
oh man, honestly, after I started making political music, I was so much harsher on what I listened to. Even some stuff that I used to love, I kind of wanted a bit more out of it. The last music that was new stuff that I really fell in love with, 2019 JPEG Mafia album called All My Heroes Are Cornballs. Gotcha. That record just really it was phenomenal, and first thing in a while that I heard that like made me excited to hear some new music again. Right. So lately I've fallen back on a lot of stuff that I loved as a kid. I've been listening to a ton of Soundgarden and Leon Redbone. Leon Redbone almost exclusively. Like at work, I drive a forklift most of my day and have a little Bluetooth speaker on there, and I've been just bumping Leon Redbone for a while.
One of the best years of my life was when I was in high school, right? And for like 1 year, it was like the year the iPod Touch came out, right?
Okay.
And it was like we somehow convinced that like the high school that like because it wasn't a phone, it was like fine, and it like only had music, right? So like everyone figured out the Wi-Fi password for the like high school, right? And like we were using them constantly. But one of the best things was I essentially just got to like put in earphones, right? And like listen to a soundtrack for like an entire year. You know? That's awesome. Yeah. Like it was like the dream. It was like you just got to have a soundtrack to your life, and it was like the nicest shit. I was happy all the time. Like it was lovely. I think I was listening to like everyone was super into like Incubus back then, and like like that early 2000s, like Flowbots was making it its way around. Like
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, like just the weirdest nonsense. I was a band nerd growing up, so it was definitely like those weird like obscure stuff that people pulled out that was like at that time, the manic pixie music that everyone liked at that point, but I did trombone and then eventually percussion and just put all my effort into that stuff.
That's awesome. I wish I could play any kind of brass or woodwind. I don't. I play a lot of instruments. Those are not
the woodwinds.
I don't have the mouth for it.
Yeah.
I can't whistle either. I have spent so many hours of my fucking life trying to learn how to whistle. And I I could put a hole through the drywall. It makes me so mad. And
Yeah,
what's
I
funny
was-
is when you tell someone I can't whistle,
Whistle,
they always go,
they
"Well, just do
immediately go,
this."
"Oh,
They
just do
whistle at
this."
you. Like I
Yeah.
just need to see someone do it. Like no one's
Yeah.
ever done that before.
It's just pretty much you got to like keep going. This is the thing with like vocal coaching and all that stuff. Like I've been watching a have you ever heard of Snarky Puppy? Which they're out of
That
Austin.
rings a bell.
Yeah, they're like a weird, like they're Berkeley's favorite. Like essentially they're like, it's like the Wu-Tang if the Wu-Tang were all jazz and gospel musicians. Like
Okay.
it's essentially just like too many people. It's
Good
just like
analogy.
93. It's just like 93 artists. Sometimes are on, sometimes aren't. It's like the only guy that's like steady is like the bass, and because he's composes and writes it, right? But they
That's
brought
cool.
in one. Look up one from Lala Hathaway, right? That's
Okay.
Donnie's daughter, right?
Okay.
And
that's
she does
awesome.
one of those like overtone, like the dual tone singing in there.
Oh
She hits
yeah.
it while scatting, which is like what?
That's awesome. Okay.
And just like hits
I've
this
gotta look
like
that up.
train noise, dude. Look
I
up
am writing
Lingus
that down
and,
right
like,
now.
Snarky Puppy with Lala Hathaway, and it's like
Okay.
she hits these overtone things, and like I looked at like how do you do that, and it's like essentially all you're trying to do is change. See, we use vocal terms that this is your resonance chamber, not your mouth, right? And all you have to do is change how the resonant chamber is shaped, right? To get essentially, you're just trying to get two resonance sections, right? So apparently, like on a good day, she can get like 4, right? And I'm like, it's just essentially all you got to do is just like make a note and then just like play with it in your mouth to the point of like getting it. And it's the same thing with like whistling and all that stuff. You just have to kind of keep doing it. Like I've always tried to do, dude. I've like gotten lightheaded from it, just trying to do like I can't. It's like you keep doing that, and it's just you're lightheaded, and like it's not working. And eventually, I know it's gonna happen where it's just like, it's just like, oh, that was it, you know, like.
Yep.
But
when I used to do a lot of gigs out, obviously pre-COVID, and solo shows, I would certain songs, if I could do a decent impression of the singer, I would. And there was one night I was doing a song by the Decemberists. And
is it the one about the whale? Because that's my favorite one.
Yes, Mariner's Revenge song.
Mariner's Revenge.
I do about a half a dozen Decemberist songs, but that's one of my favorite ones to do live because you always get one person in the crowd that'll know
like
it and they'll be super excited,
they'll be
you know,
like,
and they'll come up and sing it with you. Yeah. But
that's such a
I was
creepy
doing that
song for it sounding so
dude,
happy
it really is.
too. It's like,
and I was singing that and doing my Colin Malloy thing, and I had to kind of hold my mouth a certain way, and I like popped my jaw and like seriously fucked my jaw up for a couple days because all of a sudden, like I was like, man. And my girlfriend at the time was like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I was doing a December song. I just pulled something." I don't know what it was.
Right.
But you have to change the shape of your mouth so much, you know, for a good impression.
The other thing that I've been listening to, which there's 1,000 React videos on YouTube, and I got pulled when me and Warren tried to react to it. The Silk Sonic album, dude. It's been like
everything I've heard from that is a fucking certified slapper.
Like hit.
It's so good.
And it's like it's crazy to me because as a musician who like that stuff is like my like those were the people that they're mimicking are like the gods for me.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
You know, like I eventually we got into like jazz drumming, which then you get into like funk and whatever. Right. And I worked with a guy, Tobin Wagstaff. Right, was over in Gainesville. It was actually on Extreme Home Makeover. If people want to go find that one, they gave him a drum set. I have that drum set. It's in my shed. Right, it's so massive. Yeah, it's so massive that I can't. Gainesville's terrible, by the way. No one should shout out Gainesville. It's like nothing there other than like UF, which can, you know, I don't care. It could flood and like break off and go into the sea.
Gainesville used to have a really cute little record store in their downtown. It's probably gone. It's probably been gone for 20 years. But
so I went.
It was cool.
With studio.
Once upon a time, really
you know where Studio Percussion was? That's where I was going. So after Extreme Home Makeover, a bunch of people would just like show up to that. So like, you know, celebrity musicians would like just sneak in and be like, "Are you doing cool shit? You know, I heard you were doing cool shit." And it's like, "Oh, John Mayer, hi, how you doing?" You know, it's like, you know, and you get to play with him. But anyway, one of his things was like, he gave me a book from Stanton Moore, who I also got to he was over in New Orleans. He worked at the Heritage Band for a while, right? And I think I just found him in one of those, like, where the Heritage Band is playing and like no one's watching because people are dumb. And I'm like, oh, it's Stanton Moore. I have your book. Like, and he's like, what? Anyway, he did like a expose on like all of the funk drummers essentially. So like all the ones that worked with James Brown, Clyde Stubblefield, Yabo Sparks.
Oh, nice.
All that stuff. And I've got it out in sheet. Like I can pull up all those. That's and awesome. Just figure it out if you give me a minute.
That's so cool. Yeah.
So like listening to these Silk Sonic records with Pac, like homaging those beats. I don't know who wrote all the percussion parts for them, but they're like,
I'm not sure.
They're tight, it's clean, they're whatever. And I've been telling people all week, like, music production right now is so based off the grid, right? You're stuck in the grid pretty much. And I know that there's ways of like pulling the grid off perfectly mathematically, and there's algorithms to be like whatever. But the best way to do it,
you can always tell when they've done that
in a
too.
Room, to get four guys in a room, like being on time. And Neil Peart talks about this. You're either on top of the click, right, or you're somewhere fudgy in the middle somewhere. You're either like rushing slightly. Like go listen to any James Brown record and just put a metronome on. Like especially if they did it live. By the end of it, they're like rushing multiple beats ahead because it's like that's what you would do. You feel that the crowd wants more, and it's just slight little bip. And as long as bass player and drummer is locked in, it's gonna be gold. So like having that like where we're just off, and dude, one of them is like modular. It's like literally modal. It literally one of them like they chromatically key change half step like for the entire song. Like it's
that. I haven't heard a new like mainstream record that was so like honest to God pocket city. Like it's
in the
just
groove,
so good.
And it's like every one of them is killer, and it's like and they're just I loved groove playing. Groove playing was my favorite thing. So because I get to take all those the hand speed and stuff from jazz that I already had and from marching that I already had and apply it. Like to do, like the amen break, which is like the most standard sampled whatever, right? Is like right there in that pocket the whole time. And dude, that whole record is just killer. Me and Indy have just been having.
I mean, I would think that Anderson did the drums.
Had to have because it's not quite. It's not quite like
his Tiny Desk concert again. Anyone that can sing and play drums.
With the Free Nationals, I could never do it. I can't. It's like. What it takes is muscle memory to the point where you're not even thinking about it. Yeah. Right.
Yep. And I've played percussion and sang. Actually, when I lived in the Keys, I played cajon and sang with a band. Yeah. And I could do that until there was something where we had some off time. And when your brain needs
to fix
more than 50%, you can't all of a sudden your words just like
it's like literally breaks. Your brain breaks. It's like I can't. Or you're doing something complicated.
We did. A lot of it was reggae, and just something you could kind of groove on. We did a cover of Everlong, and again with that you're just speed. And as soon as all of a sudden there was something like we fucked around with Possum Kingdom once by the Toadies, and I know that song by heart, but I could not sing it and play drums to it. It was just one of those that like God damn it, like, it's right there. I know this, but your brain doesn't. No, there's not enough to go around.
Yeah, I mean, but I would travel. Like I went from Live Oak, that's where I lived originally, and I traveled to Gainesville for those like lessons. Yeah, Swanee High School.
I have family there.
Yeah,
I grew up in Panama City, and I got family in Live Oak.
Yeah, so I lived in Naples before that.
Okay,
right. And then here, and now I'm in Panacea, which is like just under Tally. So
That's awesome. So, growing up in Panama City, it's like if you wanted to see a good band, Tallahassee was the closest place.
Yeah,
I got to see Deftones and smoke out with them after a show, which was fantastic.
That's dope.
They were phenomenal live.
But
Tallahassee's where I saw Decemberists actually. And
went-
their drummer, okay, talk about Pocket. Their drummer was drinking heavily when I saw
Yeah.
them, and he was sloshed halfway through the show, and you could tell between songs,
Yeah.
but you could not tell when he was playing, you know. And when they did Mariner's Revenge song and they got to the whale attack, he ran off stage and came out with this giant stuffed whale and started like throwing it at the bassist and shit. It was such a fun show. It really is.
You know, funny, like the only concerts other than like ones I was either in or like, you know, that are like for like old people to go somewhere and like do something, you know, and you get dragged along.
Mhm.
Was I went to go see at the House of Blues over in Orlando. I got to see Cage the Elephant, and I think some other orchestra. It was like
Nice.
It was either TSO or somebody, but like it was something named orchestra that was important. I didn't even watch them. I was like after Cage, I was like done. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Cage killed it, you know. When he did the Saber-Tooth Tiger song, he literally jumped out into the audience and was just like floating out there, and you just see like wired
That's cool.
mic, like
Damn.
like tossed like to, and when he catches it, it was like they start the song like the minute he caught it, and it was just like, dude, like that's
great.
that's a killer move. Like you can't,
Yeah.
you know, to
That's
just have,
exceptional.
yeah. So it was just like, and it's essentially he's keeping time. Or like, I'm a saber-tooth tiger, and it was like the whole thing went off. Right? They had like they couldn't do "Ain't No Rest for the Wicked" because like they didn't, like somehow their acoustics got stuck, and he was like, "Fuck it, give me the electric," and it was like an electric version of like "Ain't No Rest," which was like that was killer.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, so but yeah, that one was dope. And then you know anything about the Purple Hatters Ball? The Purple Hatters Ball, that was an interesting one. That
No.
was like a 3-day festival over there in Live Oak, but apparently it was like it toured and it was doing it every year. But I think it was essentially there was some story about a lady who had weed on her and the cops pulled her over, right? And like they ended up like killing her or whatever, and it was all a big deal. And anyway, like the ball is essentially to commemorate her, right?
Oh, wow.
And so there was no fucking cops. Cops did not show up. It had like, you know, concert security, and that was it, right? And it was like a festival, and like there's a place, and if you ever go to that like Swanee Music Festival, there's a place they call like hippie alley, right? It was like there's this big like campground essentially, and a bunch of people will show up, but like all the hippies still stay like in hippie alley, and it was just like there was a fucking VW band set up just to do whippets. Like it was literally an entire van designed to like, they had like big nitrous canisters with like, it was like an O2 bar or whatever, but they were like putting nitrous in it or whatever. Right. And it was just, I think I might have hit it with my giant redneck truck that I had at the time that had like giant like mufflers on it. And it was like literally people hung over just like, and like turning the key. I was like, this is gonna suck. It was like early in the morning, right? And it was just like, ooh, like, and just like, you knew it was waking everybody up the minute you put the gas pedal. And I think I caught like a wing mirror, and I was just like, I was out. I was just like, bye, you know. But that they had like a bunch of crazy bands there. That was super fun. But yeah, like that Cage the Elephant concert was great, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've gotten lucky and played with a few people. Not that they would remember me, right? Because like, who would? But it was just some of those moments where it's like you get to like, oh, there's an opportunity to play, and there's other people here, so you take it, right? And you definitely, when Erykah Badu was there, you definitely take that opportunity. When like John Mayer's there, and like when Flea's here, you definitely take the opportunity. They'll probably never remember you, but I'll sit there and like.
But you will.
Yeah, like I will for sure. But you know, part of it is like finding a band and stuff. But I do have you know, visual treats for our show, so that we're not just talking to ourselves the whole time. But let me switch camera here to this one, and then hit this camera for you, so that you can see stuff. So this is on a channel called 420 Science that I definitely suggest people go look up. They have one of the best head shops online. I wish I was sponsored by them. That would be super cool, but I'm not. But they just had this thing, so the Hitoki Trident Laser Bong. It's a laser. It's got freaking lasers on its freaking bong. Look at this shit.
An industrial
Like,
balloon
look at the laser.
To
Look at the
pour down
laser.
the heart of the balloon
How cool
and
is that
ignite it
shit?
From the core out.
It ignites with a laser. Like, what dumb stoner engineer who's like at the like laser department is just like, God, if I could just take one of these home, you know, like,
Right.
That's,
You know what this bong needs? A little bit of radiation.
Right, exactly.
Just
Like,
enough to make it fun.
needs-
Just enough to make it fun.
Just a little bit. Like, oh, I've seen another one like this where someone set up this crazy, like, to where, like, the laser mirrors down into the bowl, right? And it was on Reddit at some point, like, stoner engineering or whatever. But, right, I see you got the apple pipe, OG apple pipe going down.
That's my signature, man.
Yeah.
That's my go-to.
I gotta get you some nice stuff sent out. But,
So speaking
you're
of
not- yeah.
of lasers,
mm-hmm.
we like as you saw before, I got a couple cats, and we have a laser pen for them. Well, we have a shitload of squirrels in our backyard and about 16 turkeys that regularly come through.
Yeah.
And I started playing around with the laser pointer with them. Squirrels are definitely aware of it.
Yes.
Don't really give a shit. They check
Yeah.
it out, but then they go on about their business. Turkeys side eye it and literally just like keep doing this. They like will not get near it. They don't run from it, but they just give it this weird look and they keep an eye trained on it. Whatever they're doing, they just keep watching it. It is
Right.
hilarious. I've been way too entertained fucking around, drawing little paths with the laser and seeing what the turkeys
So
do.
I've got a rechargeable one that will plug in with USB. Right? It's one of these green ones. Right?
Oh, that's awesome.
My cat freaks out at even the noise of the button being slightly like, yeah, like I'm surprised he's not like, he's probably in my mother's room just where the heater's at, but
That's funny.
Like I got that for two reasons. One, the cat, but also in Japan when they were doing the Hong Kong protests or whatever, whenever a cop would like bring up a shotgun to like shoot anyone with a beanbag or whatever, like 20 people would point lasers at his eyes.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's effective. So I just carry one just in case of that situation. But what's the craziest thing you've made to smoke out of? Because that's
made to smoke out of. Okay.
Yeah.
Apple has been a standby for me and my go-to for a long time.
Yeah.
When I lived in the Keys, there was a gig at a bar that I got there. I realized I didn't have an apple. We're on our break. We've only got like 15 minutes. I go into the kitchen. I'm like, you guys have any fruit? And they were like, we only have, like, we got limes, but they were key limes. So like super tiny little guys.
Yeah.
Took my car key, corded it out, burned half of my mustache off, but it, it worked.
Luckily,
we made do.
Dude, that's the worst, dude. Smoking with mustaches when someone brings out like a tiny pipe is like, I'm like always like, and it's like if it smells like hair, I'm like, oh God, did I? Oh,
Yep.
You know, and it's just like every time I hate it. You know, I love the difference. You have an apple. I've got a whole fucking like
a rig.
Yeah, like I've got the desktop vape here.
Nice.
You know, weed goes in here and travels up this fucking hose, and then into here. I've got it on an arm, right? So like, I can
that's
move
fantastic.
it the fuck around, right? So I can't like. See, the issue is, you see what had happened is that I would break so many fucking bongs.
Yep.
Right? So it's like now I just like, even if I fucking hit it, it's like, cool. All right. You know, so.
That's why I went and got one recently and they had like just plastic and all the like, different kind of, what are the weird molded rubber ones.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what?
I mean, I'm
going to go with something idiot proof because I need it at this point.
There's a thing that I used to use. It's a little expensive for what it is, but I feel like you get use out of it if you're smoking a lot, especially if you do stuff like roll. If you actually roll stuff, it's a great purchase, right? So there was a little company called Dollar High Club, right? That's essentially like, it's like a subscription box thing, but they would send you out a new piece every month, right? So for a person like me who broke a lot, I was like, all right, cool, right? So it's like I've got like Corona. I've got little mini zong. I've got what else we got? We got fucking Mr. Frosty's, my Christmas piece. right? And for New Year's, we've got the champagne bottle. You can tell I haven't used this one in a while. Dude, I've got a whole like I think I've got 2 champagne bottles. This is like the
Large.
Yep, I've got spray paint can. I have somewhere in that shelf back there is a grenade that the fitting one doesn't work on it, so I just keep
That's
it
awesome.
back there. Little grenade piece. I've got the slurpers. Little slurpy
Fantastic.
cup. Yep, I've got the juice box. Right? Which, like, who has a fucking square bong? Nobody. So fucking I got that one. What else I got in here?
God, that's so good.
My Halloween one, which is like it's got like the scorpion in it, right? Inside as the perk, which is like
Oh, nice.
crazy sweet. Can we even fucking
That's awesome.
see it on Oop. Right? It's in there. I got like a couple more, I think. This one is done by Cypress Hills, Be Real, I think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, this is
that's awesome.
Dr. Green Thumbs. And then the Homer's bong with the donut. I don't even know why it's on there. But yeah, I mean, I was getting those like every month. So like little mini inline. I need to get like a new big one. There's a few. One I saw on 420 Science Club the other day, which I can pull up real quick, was they have ones on the indestructible bongs, like an indestructible pipes, so that like I'm already trying to fucking knock all these over now. So, but like, which is a bad
Looks
time
like a
for me.
silencer.
Why is breaking bongs? Well, this is like a downstem that's like indestructible. Right, but they've got like the silicone ones, which everyone fucking likes now. But I'm gonna tell you right now, the minute you clean that shit, it's gonna start getting sticky and weird. And
Yeah.
Silicone doesn't do well with oils and shit. So, like, I can tell you from this hose that's had a bunch of like weed resin pulled through it, and me trying to clean it out with alcohol and stuff like that, it definitely starts to get weird. So,
Yeah.
I'm end up buying like more stuff. But the one on the right, which I will pull up for chat here, right? Is
Hold on, everybody.
let me find the actual bit where they're talking about the bong, right? So like a fucking money shot here that like we zoom in on it. No product placement. Oh, here it is. I found it. There we go.
Oosh.
So let me switch to this camera. So it's a vacuum insulated bong, like
Oh, nice.
so you can like it's actually got enamel in in it, so it's still glass. So it's still a glass bong, but it's like vacuum insulated on top of it. It unscrews and shit, and then you can like put your indestructible downstem in there.
Wow.
And like then I could like all I need is 14 mil and it goes this will go into it. So
That's awesome.
14 mil downstem. I might get that for myself for Christmas. But then yeah, you just pack it with ice and
That's great.
like which is perfect. Because if I do that with this bong, even if I use cold water, like on any of these bongs on here, it just condensates and drips on the floor. I'm like, ew, it's gross. Like foot's wet for some reason. I'm like, what?
Yep.
Why? But yeah, like
Don't you do it?
I love finding like new stuff for people, and it's like everyone's first experiences with those things. Like when you tell people like you smoke weed and like they don't think you know shit, the first thing they tell you is like, have you tried a gravity bong? It's like, yes, I have died before. It's like, yes. I tried all of the gravity bongs. All of them are terrible. I've not tried the Seth Rogen one that's like $4,000 fucking dollars or whatever the fuck it is.
Right.
I did see one that was like a 3D printed version of that like just hooked in mason jars and did the same thing. Right? So you just like bought mason jars and 3D printed the connector. And then you just had to like put a bowl in and whatever. I don't know how plastic does well with weed, but I think some plastics are okay. Like if it's
This one, I thought they already had every kind of mason jar attachment.
Yeah,
prove
I
me
know,
wrong
right?
again.
Well, I've seen like dab rigs that go into mason jars and stuff like that.
That's
and,
awesome.
You know, but yeah, what else do I have? We do have some other stuff. So is this what you're drinking on tonight? Oh shit! You got it all everywhere.
Mine's a little more stable. This is solid though. This boot is
a fucking giant mojito. What the fuck?
This is immense.
I like how you have the boot. The boot is what's up. You know. I've got the only thing I've got like a thing of Tito's in the freezer. I've got fucking bourbon somewhere. You know, Buffalo Trace and Evan Williams. I could do that, but I've got. Indy makes me, you know, we do a show on Saturday night. How do we miss that at midnight with me and Indy on his channel, Indy Left News. There should be a link down in the doobly-doo below there for all those.
We're using technical terms.
Yeah, that's the original technical term for it too. That's what's funny. People are like, oh, he said the doobly-doo, and like everyone will be like, I remember that. I remember the doobly-doo. But anyway, yeah, and he makes me cover Robbie Yeager stories quite a bit, and every time we do one of those, I've got Yeager in the freezer for that. So you know, perfect. I've already been through a fifth. Like I'm taking a picture of every time I go through one, and then eventually I'll just like send all those pictures in like as a picture of Robbie and like send him that, like, you know, and he can use that shit. I just find it would be funny. It's like, yeah, this guy's putting in work. What are y'all doing? Like, right? I've had to become an alcoholic because of this man, like, you know? So, but anyway, I just fucking love that shit. And I'm sure, like, he's definitely heard that joke before and definitely doesn't even find it. Like, yeah, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but, what else I got?
I know I work with a guy named Toto.
Yeah,
and it's so hard not to like he's the maintenance guy at our job, and one day I wanted to be like, hey, could you do me a favor and bless the rains down in Africa?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Like, look, watch this shit. Ready?
Oh God bless.
Dude, the amount of times I've been hit in the head with a fucking bass mallet is too many to count. It's like the first that it's just like whatever stick someone could grab. It was at the.
Do you mind? I need that one more time.
Yeah.
Can we get that again?
Yeah. We'll run it back, Colin. Instant replay from the truck, bip, right in the note, like,
God,
off that, like, oh, that's not even the worst.
That's
dude.
so brutal.
When I was going through, like, you know, high school, dodgeball had just came out, so it's like if you could dodge a drumstick, which I definitely can. I do know that I can dodge a ball because I can dodge drumsticks, but people just like swing one, and it's just like, you know,
oh God.
But yeah, and then they decided super fun thing. Let's. The practice room from the drum line should be just as big as the drum line. And it should only be that big, you know, and that's what we're going to practice in. So, you know, the tinnitus I have now probably thanks me for that. But, you know, tough acting tinnitus. But, you know, that and drum set, no hearing protection, all that stuff. I'm sure you've ruined your ears too, just being a musician generally. Like, it's just a fucking terrible thing. Apparently there's a way to turn it off.
My hearing is garbage.
Apparently there's like, if you do have tinnitus, apparently there's a way to just like turn it off, and I forget what it is, but there's like a whole, like, there's used to be on Reddit, there's like a whole procedure you got to do. You got to, like, you know, but
hang on 1 second, the cat's got a bag of fuses.
Yep, a bag of fuses. Oh no, he's gonna blow something up. But
okay,
but yeah. So I've got this little trick, which I just love when there's a musician who goes out of their way to like learn a trick because they can do it, right? Just to like impress people, right? Everyone's like dying. Yeah. Like there's another one I wanted to play after this. That's a. I will try to find it.
That's amazing.
And send it to you. There's a guy. It's like a looping artist that was like doing reggae stuff.
Oh yeah.
And he separates out all the syllables, right?
Oh, that's cool.
And then like he starts looping, and he'll add one set of syllables, like whatever's on one.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he'll keep, and then eventually it's just like the entire piece. You know.
That's cool.
So, dude, looping guys are. I mean, Mark Rebillier, all that stuff. I've been watching like Kenny Beats and stuff too. He had him on. Had Thundercat on recently. That one's dope. If you've never watched those, those are good. His cave sessions were
Thundercat actually. Well, Kenny Beats too. I love Kenny Beats.
Yeah.
Thundercat. There was an interview I watched with him where he's talking about his favorite bass lines and plays a couple of them.
I've seen that
and
one,
there was something he said that really stuck with me about, you know, remembering that the bass is a percussive instrument.
Yes.
And I've always done really melodic bass lines, and I like doing that. But when I was doing the Why We March song with Awkward for the Medicare thing, I was like, I really want like a driving bass line. And so I forced myself to put the bass right on that beat. And it's one of my favorite bass lines I did. I kept it simple, and I made it move. And
do you know how to slap? Do you know of the slap?
Do
you slap at the bass?
I love to, but when I'm actually like playing bass, I play with a pick.
Yeah, weirdo. Yeah. Felt or plastic?
Plastic.
Okay, we should get you a felt and leather one as well, right?
Yeah.
So that even though it's a pick, yes, they're actually pretty cheap.
Yeah.
But the felt ones and the leather ones, like, and you can get like they're weird like Dorito ones too. They're like. Kind of big, right? Bigger than normal. They're like bass picks. Those exist, right?
Yeah.
So, but they're felt.
I love the big triangular picks. I love.
Yeah, me
those.
too. Yeah, I've got like, these are ones that came in my iFixit kit. Can I just pull one of these out? Is it even in here, or am I just gonna like search around for 30 minutes for? Oh no, here we go. Like one of these big ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. I don't even know what like. Normally, I would do like Dunlap mediums. You know.
And that's funny because I use Dunlop. Well, for a guitar, I use Dunlop, the like extra grippy
one, right? Little gray one, yeah.
And the really, really thick those for guitar, I love for bass.
Oh, see, and that's the thing. There's also, do you ever use the gym picks? Like the, I think they're done by Dunlap, but they're like clear purple plastic. They're like really stiff, right?
Yeah.
And they have like a weird like finger indentation or whatever. Those always like I liked them, but I could definitely like feel that it's like weird. And I never liked stiff picks, so it was a stiff pick I could use, but not like whatever. I always liked like lights or mediums or whatever, and just extra light on the guitar. Like why work harder than you have to? You know? Like I mean,
and I played with nylons. So with nylon strings, like I don't really need that hard of a pick, you know.
I need to get strings
anything more than a medium is just murder.
For this one back there, a little Yamaha,
nice.
like standard acoustic, but like those Elixir Phosphor Bronze, are really nice. Like I like them on that one, like just warmer and whatever. And I made a mistake of getting like lights. And I need to just go extra light. You know,
I've always like when I played with light strings, I'm brutal on my strings apparently.
Yeah. Oh, you should see the drumsticks I've went through over the years, like bro.
When I was playing Cajon, the guy I was living in just outside of Key West in Marathon, kind of middle Keys, and there's a guy named Jim O'Lean in Key West who makes percussion, and he's fucking genius. And he made the Cajon that I got. And one night at a gig, I put my hand right through the front of it. And so I went back to him and I was like, can you make this a little thicker? And he did. And about a month later, I put my hand through that one.
Nice.
And I was like, I need you to make one like absurdly thick. And he ended up putting like, I can't remember what, I want to say it was like a 1/2 inch base plate on this thing, but the
Right.
bottom end on it is so warm and full and just thunderous. And he has a really tight, snare wire affixed up in the front, so the slap on it is really bright, and I cannot hurt that thing. It is a tank. It is an absolute tank of a cajon, and I love it.
I'm looking for, dude. I have spent in drumsticks alone. I have a bag that if anyone knew how much was in that bag as far as just monetary value. Oh, and I would get it like stolen in high school a lot. Like I got in whole scale fights over that shit because like, hey, there's $200 in here.
Yeah.
Like fuck you. I'm trying to find. I just had one.
Dude, band instruments, it's insane what they make kids pay just to rent one that's
like,
on its way out.
I looked at a trombone that like used to be like the bee's knees when back in high school, right? And I still fucking want one. It's like more expensive than a car,
Are those thunder
it's
sticks?
like yeah, these are like old school thunder sticks, which like on a cajon are like not bad, right?
Yeah.
And like give you quite a bit of like control. These are always great like when you're trying to play quiet and with a drum set and stuff, but I need a pair of brushes still. I've been waiting to get like I need to get either like Roland has got like one of the little pads, right? Like the little like 8x8 trigger pad. Like I've got this like the little Korg Ikai Mini MPK. I just gotta get it really set up in Ableton, and I need it to where like these pads are like not like I'll play them and there'll be a little delay somewhere, and it's because like Windows Audio there's like a built-in delay. So but I want to get that, or part of it is I don't have room for like a full set. Yeah. Right? And I want an electric one anyway. Like set of V drums or something, right? That way I can just like fold them up, put them away, like but like yeah, dude, like look at this fucking nonsense in here.
Jesus.
Like yeah, dude, it's like
if you've never tried it, there is an app that I will absolutely shout out real quick called Drumney.
Okay.
That I've used it for quite a few songs. It's a really, really great just touch drum app that can integrate into GarageBand, which has been a blessing. GarageBand's drums are good, but the speed at which I can drum shit out on Drumney is just blistering, and it has a touch sensitive kick that if you want you can put it on your leg and it'll feel the bounce, so you can just do the kick with your leg,
right?
And I've recorded quite a few things. Red Pilled used that, and Town Hall, which was really the first political song that I put on Twitter that kind of started everything, that was with Drumney. It's a pretty small app, but yeah, it's even for just fun, it's phenomenal. But I recorded with it quite a bit. I swear.
Yeah, I mean, I played tenors and snare in high school, so I've got shit for that. These are like meant for like training. These ones.
Oh, nice.
Right? I do know guys that use them now normally for these, but they're a tenor stick. They make a Vic Firth has like their Magnum series, I think, and it's essentially it's like this is fake wood. Right, I know it looks like real wood, but it's like laminate, right?
Oh, nice.
So it's they've essentially made a heavier wood, right? So like these are like really heavy. These actually feel normal to me now, but back when I was like first learning or whatever, they're like, so you work on your like rudiments and stuff with this one, then you go back to normal sticks, and it's like, like you just got, who is it, Vegeta in the like the fucking gravity chamber or whatever, shit like that. I've got ones for these are some of the most expensive things I own that I'll probably never use. These things are like crazy sticks, right? They're for like marimba and like, and I've got a set of 4 of them. That was when I was trying to make it into college doing music shit. Berkeley wanted me to go, but housing cost and just college costs, like, yeah, fuck that. I'm good, you know? So, but, yeah, I did that. I did trombone, guitar, bass, upright bass, cello.
Nice.
Yeah, I got up, as most musicians, we end up running a game. And the only thing I didn't learn was piano, which I now regret. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, that's the one thing you probably should learn. And then, like everything else can be taught, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's the theory needed to understand how to play a piano, like at a level, is like, you know, watching like jazz guys come in and like just talk theory to each other, right? To like try to get and it's nonsense. It's like, okay, we're gonna hit this major third, and then we're gonna hit, you know, like it's like, bro, can we, you know, like you get into that later Sir Duke stuff or the bop stuff, or you know, you know, Miles Davis in his later years and stuff, where it's like super modal and like it doesn't, like super dissonant and all that stuff, where it's just the jazz that doesn't sound good, you know,
right? It challenges you to listen to it.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, those are classics. I love all that stuff, but yeah, dude, 4 years of fucking high school shit. You know, I wish it was applicable, but you know, what else I got? I got some more visual treats. Let's go. I had to hit the buttons. I only had to hit Spotify button because I think you see stuff. This one, and then this was at the store. So Betty Crocker's Super Moist Butt, which I just feel like is the type of comedy people need right now. But with like Thanksgiving coming up, what you got plans for that? You know, so, but anyway, you know, you can also pick up some nut lick while you're there. You know, everyone loves some nut lick.
The residue at the top of that jar
is just bad. Like, this is at the store, right? Like it's mix nut lick. Like, what? You know?
Oh my god!
Can I make sure mix is like locked away when this is bottled? Like,
are those supposed to be crepes on the side, or is that like
I think so? Yeah,
a taquito.
What, you don't fill your crepe with nut lick? But like, also, why is it like definitely like this is not the color of Nutella? Nutella is like much more chocolate-esque. This looks like something.
Are those like they look like garbanzo beans on like a chocolate stream?
Yeah, like what is this?
And then what's beside those limes? It's like limes and a cheese wedge.
I don't know. Like,
and then a little container of like Chick-fil-A sweet and sour sauce.
Oh yeah, like what is that? Who made this? Like, it's like
I hope to God that's one of those like fake products that someone put on a shelf.
Put on a shelf.
Because
it's got this what seems like an official, you know, seal here.
I'm worried though if I Google mix nut lick, I'm gonna regret it.
Yeah, you don't want to.
I'm really gonna regret it. You know,
no, that's not gonna be great. But
I'm not gonna open that can of worms. Not today.
Oh, so I found this one from I think it made it on our trees. Why? Oh, it's probably because there's like weird zoom. Hold on. Let me reset zoom. There we go. Full screen.
Snoop Dogg, the Godfather. I hit that blunt, I'm going to see the father. Damn, Earth was cool. Oh, this gas, 93. Octane.
93. Octane.
Now. Hey, cool.
He's like pitching it away.
Sparked already. He being unreasonable. Mind me if he think I'm finna hit that blunt again. Heavens no, I'm high, bucko. I'm puzzled. I'm finna give it right back to him and tell him I hit it 10 times already. I'm finna call 911 and report an attempted murder.
Here you go.
He keep passing me blunts. He think we in a relay race. What a bummer.
I love he like ashes one and then like puts it in his pocket.
Weed for me.
He's just like, all right,
each
cool.
exhale, I'm about
and like
to
smoke.
die.
Snoop's already got another one going.
I done already took 2 blunts. He done sparked
Snoop.
the 3rd one. Smoke monster. I'm finna play sleep. I'm comatose. Big fella, you took that blunt to the head. Now you finna be in the nearest hospital bed. This ain't the move.
Nearest hospital bed.
He a different.
Oh, but
I went to Bonnaroo in 2016
nice.
with some people from work, and we all smoked. And so every time we'd go to smoke, I'm like, let's do this. And we'd smoke a decent bit. And then everyone would be like, okay, let's go do stuff. I'm like, what? We barely started smoking. We've still got a good ways to go, right? And they're like, no, we're good. And I'm like, you guys are making me feel like an addict. I don't like this.
Buddy
I'm going to smoke 3 more bowls and then we'll go do activities. You guys go on.
Buddy Wardeer in chat apparently has been watching Lost, talking about the smoke monster. So
nice.
You know.
Oh man, the ending of that show is disappointment, but what a fun journey.
Isn't it? I mean, it's like almost as disappointing as the one from The Sopranos, you know?
Yep.
So,
yep.
I think I've got...
But man, for a long time, oh god, I loved that show so much.
Let me pull it up on stream.
Ooh,
Man says he's been banned from all-you-can-eat barbecue for eating too much. Now, can we sue this barbecue for false advertisement is what I would like to know. But I do love how the BBC feels like this is newsworthy.
I mean, I guess they could imply all you can eat means the average person. Like, this guy is consuming like superhuman levels of barbecue. You know, it's tough. It's tough times for a lot of businesses right now. If one man can cripple
ruin a business,
a barbecue joint,
like one of those competitive eaters walks in and it's just like no,
right?
But you know, there's a guy in Belmarsh right now, you know, that the BBC could be covering, but instead,
they're talking barbecue.
Yeah.
More like BBQ news, am I right?
Speaking of which, I want this dog to just be my secretary. How much of a great day was that lady's made? Just like answers the phone.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, yeah, this is Petco. How can I help you?
Right? Now, the difference is, if you did that in the middle of the night, you could fucking traumatize someone. That would be the weirdest thing to hear.
Sure. It would be terrible. I think I got... What do I got? I have some, like... Some cringe. So this was at the people waiting for JFK Jr. to return, right? And then this guy's out here with his like Beats by Dre, you know, pill or like whatever.
A $400 Bluetooth speaker.
Like, I just love all the white folk in the back who are like, yeah, we know the words. No, you don't. You know, but I just thought it was funny, man. Like that they got that guy. I don't even know who this person is. Yep. Do you recognize this guy?
No. I imagine QAnon has their own wing of musicians.
Their own wing of musicians. The QAnon. Is that like the Q-Man group? Is that what they're going with? Like, is that
Q-Tang Clan?
You know, Q-Tang Clan. That's a good one as well. But, yeah.
Ah, damn.
Fucking great. What else I got? This craziness. Have you ever seen something like high and you're just like, was I high or did that just happen? Right? Like, you know what I mean? I feel like this would be one of those things where it's just like, the guy's helping you, like, get your car started. Like, no, it's not working. All right, hold on.
Jesus, Murphy.
Dale. Oh. Bing.
Oh my god.
Like.
Oh, and that look at the camera like a boss. Jesus.
Like, just like, how is that? I love how he tests it first. Like, bzz, bzz, bzz.
That is astounding.
Oh, how is that?
Holy shit.
How is that possible? But, I thought, you know, with Meta doing their stuff in the last couple of weeks.
That was so funny. The
We
barbecue sauce bottle just murdered me.
Oh.
I was.
You mean Sweet Baby Ray's?
Yes.
Just gonna put some Sweet Baby Ray's on that. I love how that's
Their
his idea of barbecue.
their Vidalia sauce is my favorite.
Oh,
so good.
I gotta make you some sauce and send it to you. I get that like Hungarian spiced paprika. I get it like import,
Ooh,
bro.
all right.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's one thing I grew up in Florida, and especially Panama City, you can find really good barbecue. And now I'm in Michigan, and they don't know what barbecue
is. Yeah.
Where I am. Like people will swear by a barbecue place, and I try it. I'm like, this is what everyone was so excited about.
This is
like,
terrible.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, Florida's got weird barbecue as far as I'm concerned. Like it's kind of like Kansas City where there's like so much different. Like some people are doing this.
They do a lot of the weird kind of mustardy.
Throw everything at the mix, or it's like super sweet or whatever, which is like I'm cool with whatever. You know, I mean, like Florida's so massively different depending on like I'm up here in like South Georgia. You know,
okay.
Like, just like I'm saying, like the top of Florida, that's like pretty much South Georgia. You know,
yeah.
Like you get outside like the cities, and it's just like Confederate flags for miles,
Yeah.
So
have you ever been to a little shop in Atlanta, a little smoke shop called 42 Degrees?
No.
It's been there for a long time. I'm not sure if it's still there, but they would do a thing where if you came in and could show your license that it was your birthday, then any piece in the store was half off.
Nice.
And they had some like pipes that were, as long as your arm and weighed 20 pounds. They had a piece there. I'd never seen anything like it that literally could go on a coffee table. And it was a giant glass blown coral reef.
Yeah.
And it had 2 different central bowls and like 8 little mouthpieces that came off of it. And it was like, $900 or something, but it was just gorgeous. Just beautiful. Like
some of those
I'd never seen so many massive, like just works of art in a smoke shop before. This place was just incredible. Like,
so this is
something from a dream.
With Meta and stuff now getting, because they own Oculus and stuff, VR has been a thing. I've got the Valve version, so hopefully, Zuckerberg doesn't hack into that one anytime soon. But they have these they have this coming out now, so watch those little fucking things. Look at those. What is that? Right? So apparently this is for like haptic feedback on like wearables, right? So think of a whole suit with those.
Oh, weird.
So like, you could essentially have like these little bubbles.
Pressure sensitive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like it could give the sensation of touch, right?
Yeah. Sitting down, laying on something. Yeah. Oh,
and essentially then it's just about pixel density, right?
Weird.
To literally give you the sensation of touch everywhere.
Yeah.
So it sounds definitely like I wouldn't want to put it on ever, but
right, exactly. It's like a tens unit or something. It's like
yeah, this nuttiness, but it's
weird.
like tick 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 tick, like
yeah, no, it's like a really subtle electrical charge. I don't know why that sound is so unnerving, but it really is
plugged in. Yeah, it's like we're just gonna be plugged into the matrix. Cynic L Girl says that it sounds like a cicada there.
Oh, it does. That totally does.
So
yep.
It definitely feels a little unhuman. But
I'm trying to find this video.
Go ahead.
As soon as I can find it, I will send it to you. There's a video I saw of this guy with a tool, not surprisingly made by Harbor Freight.
Yes.
And it starts smoking. And then presumes to like...
Is it AVE? Does he release the shmoo? Is that what happens? There's a quote from some electrical engineer that says...
It pools out. It begins this like liquid...
I guarantee. Is the guy off camera and sounds Canadian? If so, that's AVE. Yeah.
I don't think he says anything. I think it's just the sound of the motor on this just going
dying.
to be God.
AVE does that stuff a lot. If you ever, he's super cool. He's like an engineer / machinist or whatever up in Camp Derp. And he has this way of speaking where it's just like it's just like stream of consciousness stuff and his little inside jokes and whatever. but it's just
That's
like
awesome.
the little things like releasing the shmoo, and like he does this thing. It's dumb, and now it's like every time I do it, I just think about it, and like no one knows what I'm talking about.
That's
right?
awesome.
So every time he like turns a bolt or whatever, every time it gets close, it'll be like, hey, click, right? Like, you know, and he's just like, all right, do it till you hear it snap, and then back a quarter turn, like, you know, that kind of nonsense. But there's
awesome.
a quote. There's a quote from some electrical engineer somewhere that says, electronic devices all work off of, you know, magic, right? And it's embodied by this, you know, blue smoke that when things fail, it releases said magic in a grand fashion. It's just like, yeah. If you've ever seen, do you ever watch Battlebots? Ever once or twice before? Essentially like robots. It's like robot fight combat. Between like people's robots, right?
Oh God, yes. Okay, It was on Comedy Central. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And the new ones, you know, back in the day, people didn't have lithium batteries, right? So they weren't using lithium batteries in these things, right? Now they are, right? And lithium
now
fires,
they're death machines.
Well, it's like lithium fires are like ridiculous, you know? And they like burn weird. They like flatten all these like metal. It's like liquid metal fire. It's craziness. Weird. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, but that's some release the fiery shmoo there. But I think I've got one thing left. You sent that. I
think I've almost got to it. It's way back in my likes.
But yeah, I mean,
searching found me nothing.
But yeah, like I love all that stuff. You know, there's places, and I wish there was places like this for music too, but there's places called maker spaces, and if you're in an area that has a large enough city, I suggest people look up maker spaces in their area, right? Some of them are even public funded, right, which is super cool. Nice. But essentially they are like worker cooperatives of like a cooperative tool share, right?
Okay.
So it's like they'll pay rent for a space, right? And they'll all have like a pool of money, and they'll buy tools and equipment and whatever. And, you know, it's essentially the couple ways I've seen it done is essentially like they pay for like a membership. You pay a membership, and then you get access to that, and you can get access to like 3D printers, laser cutters, table saws, CNCs, you know, metal lathes, like all that stuff. And you'll have people in there that know how to use them and can teach you, right? And like sometimes they'll have stipulations, like you have to leave all your scrap parts. So like you have to leave like all your like scrap materials so that someone else can like come in and get them.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to send a bunch of like people over to a few of them in their cities and stuff like that. But I've seen them with like commercial kitchens attached, with like community gardens attached to teach people like culinary stuff and things like that, and essentially have a kitchen that anyone can like, any of the members could walk in and use, right?
Yeah.
But they do crazy stuff or prop stuff all the time. But the one I went to had like luthiers that were making guitars.
Oh damn!
And I was just like, this is dope.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah,
I could just bring them some wood and like have one back. I should have done it, but
wow,
you know. But yeah, those places are super go. Where are you located now?
I'm in West Michigan, kind of near Grand Rapids.
Gotcha. There's definitely a few. There's like one of the biggest ones, Artist Asylum in Chicago, I think is pretty big. There's definitely some few ones that are out there, but I would just do a Google your nearest city and be like makerspace, because they're super useful. Like you can take your broken thing to someone and be like, please, can you fix? We might be able to. And they usually have hacker spaces attached to them too, so you know you might be able to get your phone fixed and stuff like that. But they used to have, like back in my father's era, they used to have a thing like community garages, right? So it would have all the tools to fix your car, right?
Oh man!
And then you can like bring it in.
God, we need to bring that back.
Work on it, right? Yourself. Essentially, you would just like rent a bay for like an hour.
Oh, I finally found it. Okay,
nice. Coolio.
Okay.
Who was a rapper from the 90s. Who's your favorite rapper right now?
Ooh,
you can do top 5, top 10.
All time. Aesop Rock is gonna take my top spot. The wordplay just makes me like I can't even wrap my brain around it half the time.
Right. I'm listening to a lot of MF Doom recently after his passing.
Oh God, yeah.
And it's like
that was so brutal.
he does a
That
thing.
I was not prepared for that.
Remember that timing lecture we had a minute ago? MF Doom is the only rapper I know that uses that trick. Right?
Yeah.
Where he's just off time, which makes him sound more like you can hear him more.
Yeah.
It's like you can focus on him and like he like fits into and out of the song because he does
exactly.
It's like the song is to click, but like he's off or on the click, and it's just like he hits all his downbeats and stuff perfect. But there's just like, and like the times where he is on time is like perfect, and like that dude, the only guy I know who can make like do 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 like sound perfect, like and work. You know. MF Doom,
it was effortless. It really was just the most comfortable flow. Like
I just watched this weekend. It's 40 minutes of ridiculousness. It's DJ Cake. What is it? I'll look it up while we're doing stuff. You sent that to me in chat, in Zoom chat.
I just DM'd it to you.
Oh, okay, on Twitter. Cool. I'll pull it up in just a second, and then we'll have DJ K-Slay. DJ, where is it? 100.
Yeah, God, MF Doom was a hard loss, man.
So like, I won't play it. Make sure it's paused. Yeah, cool. Look at the lineup here. It's 40 minutes, right?
My God.
And like we've got Dave East, we've got Raekwon, Ghostface, and Inspector. We've got KRS, right?
Oh, nice.
Big Daddy Kane, MC Search.
Wow.
Like Tony Stark, Ghostface alter ego, which I love that.
Chuck
Love how
D.
they have Ghostface, like Chuck D. It's crazy. It's just like, go watch the full 40 minutes. Prince the King, Sauce Money, Chuck D.
Well, that's awesome.
Like so many like killers on this one. There's been like rap's almost made old school rap has almost made a comeback in a way too. Like, I think RTJ really like pushed that too, right? Where it's like
for sure.
They brought back that like you can actually rap. You don't have to like use that triplet flow that everyone uses. You can just so
if you've not heard them, there are a few artists that I've been lucky enough I met through Twitter and worked with. A guy named Mugen Styles.
Okay.
And who's got this great, the tone of his voice is got that very kind of laid back, like 70s pimp kind of feeling to it. And he is in a 3-piece called Rumor with an artist named J Red and a guy named Rick Da Vinci. Gotcha. And Rick Da Vinci has one of the most talented lyricists I've heard before. One of those people who, much like MF Doom, you feel like this guy could just sit for hours and just go and go. And very classic early 90s kind of boom bap vibe, but mellow tone. Definitely, I'll send you a couple links because they're all phenomenal.
We're definitely releasing the shmoo here.
Okay, so this gets so good. Watch, because all of a sudden,
we're gonna start plastic melt.
It starts cooling out a little chlorine gas.
Yes, the laminar flow fantastic? Of the electrical gas. So what's happening is that essentially all these things is essentially a motor, right? Which a motor is a generator in reverse, right? So we've got a spinning thing, right, and a coil, right, so that we can change the magnetic field in there. Except, essentially in a generator, you turn the magnets, which then go around the coil, which collects the magnetic field ions and sends the angry pixies down the pipe. But that's the best way I know how to describe it. And literally, like, it's the angry pixies. We don't know what they are, but they can go real fast. It's like you can either have angry pixies that are like real dense angry pixies that move real fast. Yep. Right? It's like until you get into like sine waves. I just showed someone the other day, like, I wonder if it's able to like if we can play that. I just put in this and like hit videos, right? Let's see if I can find. Let's go to YouTube first and then do it because I like watched it today. So, have you ever seen the documentary Moog?
No,
Right?
I haven't.
It's very good. It's like talks about like the invention of MIDI and Moog and synthesizers in general. But this is like
Awesome.
Wendy Carlos back in 1970, right? Who's like telling you about like
In between those last two, and a very useful sound indeed, is something called triangular, and it's kind of a pointed sine wave. So you can
right. So it's like she's going through and be like, we have to make these sounds, but we do it by like changing the sine wave and whatever. It's like it's literally
That's
like
awesome.
look at all the fucking like whenever I see like
know.
giant Moog synthesizers, it's like, what is this? This is before computers.
cool.
People don't understand. This is like it's not like you just plug this into Ableton and like, also, what are these sideburns?
see
I
it's a little
know.
brighter than a
Like,
sine
what
wave.
is this? Anyway. But
And that's why that synthesizer tone and the feel of those analogs. That's why I loved Portishead's first record, Dummy, so much.
Yeah.
And I watched a video once with their keyboardist, and his setup looks like that. It's just this wall and just wires in this beautiful.
Well, it's like
tangled
Skrillex's stuff is
nightmare.
like looks crazy too. I mean, he has it all
Yep.
clean and whatever, but like, this is stuff that I wish like musical engineering is something that I never got into, and like so many people who are into it know all this crazy stuff, and they know these exact instruments, and they can hear like, oh, that's like a 1978 Wurlitzer. It's like, dude, I don't even know what it was a Wurlitzer. What is that?
Yep.
Like, and you're like, oh, it's like it's kind of like a clav, but like not. And like, it's like, dude, and then he's like a little bit. Oh, dude, when you get into guitar and like pedal sequences and like, all that nonsense, and like preamping into like an amp, and then it's like, what are we doing?
I don't have the patience.
Now.
I wish I did. I don't have
even
the
know
patience
what
to be that much of a gearhead. I don't.
What
Exactly.
do these knobs do down here?
Yep.
I don't know. One's volume. That's the one I care about. And then you see like, and like, what does this switch do? I don't know. But every time, like I saw the Edge one time hit it, and it added distortion somehow. So can you make that custom switch? Like that would be great, But yeah, I'll never understand how to do any of that stuff. I just like I had this one like pedal that was from. It was like super old now too. They now updated it, but it was like a digital. I'm trying to remember who makes it. But it was like a digital pedal, right? It had like a little wah pedal and like two little loop buttons, right? And then you could like select like different effects. It was like one of the first like digital effects pedals.
Oh,
right?
nice.
And it was like I could plug in. I don't even know where it's at now. I mean, I've got like my still PV little fucking amp down here, but I still need an electric guitar to fucking make that shit happen. I had to pawn all that shit at one point, I think. My PV 5-string Millennial that I miss dearly. That I got for like $300 that I realized was a much more expensive piece of kit. And then I just had like an Ibanez, like just standard Ibanez one, but
Nice.
which I'm not that much of a fan of Ibanez's, but they're all right. I still prefer like a 70s Les Paul. If someone wants to send me one of those, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Just like original mint condition, please and thank
Yeah.
you. But yeah, like this stuff, after we get off the thing here, which we're at like 11:19, we've done about, what is it? We started at like 10, so
Yeah.
we're just about on the limit there. But
Look at that.
but yeah, like all that stuff. I'll show you Snarky Puppy in a minute, where I can do stuff without having to like worry about DMCA. So all that stuff's super cool. But yeah, it's been great talking with you, and like
Yeah, dude, for sure. It's been a lot of fun.
At some point, we'll have to jam and get some stuff down together. I have Ableton and stuff.
Absolutely.
I just don't know how to use it. But
it's super easy for me. If you send me a file, I can just open it up in GarageBand and go to work with it. So yeah, we should mess around with something.
Yep. Yes, sir. So where can they find you at? I know your Twitter handle is right underneath you in the camera at Jesse Jett.
That's my main place. Bandcamp. I have pretty much everything. The spoken word album I just finished putting out tomorrow.
Cool.
It's on Spotify right now. It's about an hour of me just letting loose on Elon Musk and Bezos and Biden and everything. And I'll be on Facts on the Ground tomorrow night, actually doing that spoken word album front to back. I'm just gonna let the whole thing rip, so it should be fun.
Perfect. How hard is it to get your stuff on Spotify? Like, do you have to like?
I use DistroKid, which they're fantastic. They really it's a flat fee that you pay yearly, and you get all the money for your royalties, which Spotify, obviously it's not much, but you don't, that goes directly to you.
Nice.
And they release your music on a lot of other streaming platforms as well. They'll also put it on like Snapchat, TikTok, and YouTube. It's, iTunes, Apple Music, all that. But they've been great. They really have.
Nice. Definitely go find his stuff on Spotify. Maybe he'll get some money back on that. But yeah, it's been great talking with you. Everyone should go look at the links in the doobly-doo. Go find INN down there. There's a link tree for that to find all of INN's channels, right? Indie News Network. Check out friend of the show, Indie Left News. Go find his stuff, his descriptions down there. And I'm at Reef Breland on Twitter if you want to keep updated for when this show is going to happen. Fridays, 10 p.m. Eastern, same bat time, same bat channel. But anyway,
the boot's empty. We did it.
Nice. You had to do the turn and everything, get it up in there. But anyway, I think that's it for us tonight. As always, peace, love,